Welcome to our 10-minute tidbits on crafting your capability statement. We're here to help you scale up your business for success, helping small businesses and promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, in this video, we're talking about how to craft your capabilities statement so that you can target your core audience as well as identify your core competencies, your differentiators. And we have our special guest, our wisdom woman, Dawn Mays, and she is going to help us understand crafting your capability statement.
So, hey everybody, this is Dawn Mays. I am Senior Program Manager at APB Associates, and I'm really excited about having these small workshops to really help you scale your business up. And so, continuing off of our previous video, we kind of talked about the high level, what is a capability statement, how important, and why is it important? Now we're going to take it a step further in knowing your audience. So you kind of have a couple of different lenses. If you're a startup business, it is your responsibility. And if you're an existing business, it's your responsibility to know exactly what you are looking for as a goal for your business, who you want to work for, who or work with, who is your ideal client, who is your niche, who is your target customer. If you don't know who that is, I would advise getting someone like Izzy, right, to help you with a market analysis to determine the market you're in, the industry you're in, and who is typically your client. We could probably do another video on this. I'm really this is your opportunity to also have an understanding of that client, their ins and outs, what they like, what they don't like, what certifications are required to work under that particular client. Is there particular projects that are very similar to the clients that you want to work with? After you're determining all of these factors, this really helps you hone in to determine what needs to go to my capability statement. If I know I need to provide certain certifications or NACE codes on my capability statement, I'm going to add that. If I know I'm trying to work in healthcare and I've worked in a hospital before, I've worked in the healthcare system before, I want to make sure that's a project that I highlight, or if I'm working in higher ed, I want to make sure that's on there. If there's a bid package that you're going after, or there's existing work that they have done where you feel like your business could have been a greater fit, or you could have been on that project executing what your trade is, that is the skill set. That is the differentiator. That is your core competency that you want to make sure is included in your capability statement. And so when you're actually giving that capability statement out, it's not just here, read this, right? They're going to read it later, right? This is a way for them to remember you, but it is an opportunity for you to have a dialogue. So if you've done that research and you determine, hey, they just completed a project, but you have some innovative software that could have saved them $10 million just based off of what you know from the project and its completion and the process. What do you think you should bring up? I would definitely bring up, hey, I've been researching your company. I would really love to work with you in the future. I saw you guys just wrapped up their hospital and you utilize the service that I provide. Do you guys use this particular software? No? Oh, well, if you haven't heard of it, it's trending now. What it can do is streamline processes, and it probably could have saved you about $10 million. I'd really love to meet with you over some coffee or lunch to just discuss further how our synergies can align.
Yeah.
Boom. You know?
Let's take a landscaping company, for example.
Yeah.
If you did a capability statement that was showing all home landscaping and you're trying to give it to a business, that doesn't really work so well. And vice versa, showing a business capability statement to a homeowner. So we want to make sure that it is visually appealing. It visually shows what that person is wanting to see.
Yes, they need to visualize themselves like, oh, they must have made this capability statement for me. This has all the stuff I'm looking for. But
Yes.
also just visually, it has to flow properly. In our previous video, we had talked about, do you like reading essays? Guess what? We don't either. And so you want to make it as brief as possible. You want to make it high level, just the highlights that you want to pinpoint. Bullet points are best. You even want to add in some visuals, meaning pictures of a building if you're in construction or healthcare or higher ed and you worked on specific buildings in that industry, put that on there, because what that does is it frees up your page from more text and you can share the story with a picture. Well, I've also had questions where they say, well, I don't really do construction. I mean, the work that I do is behind the scenes, which is great. But if it's with the EPA, if it's with the municipality or a school district, use their logo. We've worked with these clients and you have the logos. And so people will be impressed on that because, for one, with a logo, you can probably put more than just a couple with all the text, right? Because
Yeah.
you're using pictures. And that can't be overloaded. People are never overwhelmed with pictures, they're always overwhelmed with too many words. And what the first thing that you need to put at the top of that capability statement, if you haven't guessed it already, I don't think I mentioned it in this video or the previous, your logo,
Yes.
your name, your phone number, your email address, your web address. But they need to know are we, whose capability statement is this? Where are they located? That should draw their eye to the top of the page.
For sure. And as we mentioned, like talking about who is it for? So we're targeting who it's for. We want to let them know who we are. And then we also are letting them know how to take the action steps to get in contact with us as well.
Absolutely. Imagine they're looking, they're like, this is great. Oh my goodness, this is exactly the kind of work we're looking for. This is the kind of company we want to work with. Wait, who is it? How do I call them?
Yeah.
What's the person's name? What's the company name?
Right? What are the next steps and how do we make it as easy as possible for them to do business with us?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For sure. And emphasizing our differentiators, how are we really doing that? You mentioned a little bit of like, okay, if you have a way to do something even better, would you say that we need to do some research ahead of time to know what else is happening in the market?
One of the key things that you should always be doing as a business owner, you should know what those trends are. And I know a lot of people are like, how do you figure that out? What do you do to figure out trends? You should be Googling your industry. You should be researching if there are magazines that are specific to your industry. You should be researching conferences that deal with your particular industry and how you can attend those conferences, right? And because when you go into those spaces, there is tons of not just businesses that are like yours, but they talk about industry trends. They talk about business development in your industry. They talk about new technologies, even reading articles. Maybe there's websites that are dedicated to your industry. I know there's tons of them in construction with newsletters and, sending you updates about different trades within construction. It's your job to find out where those resources are, get on those email lists, see if there's meetup groups locally in your neighborhood. I don't even know if we do meetup anymore, but there might be small groups, or there might be professional organizations dealing with your industry and how you can join. If it's expensive, hey, how can you become an associate member where it might be a lower cost, but it gets your foot in the door to have access to possible networking opportunities, professional development in your industry and in your business, and then possible, trainings, workshops. You might even get a discount to go to certain conferences because you're a member of these professional organizations. So it's multi-pronged of various ways for you to get involved so you can be in the know about what's happening. But once you start to get involved in these smaller circles and getting these emails and these e-newsletters, it makes you more comfortable to navigate those rooms and have those conversations with those potential clients. The other thing that I wanted to add, Izzy, is that at that time, if you've done all of this research and you have found a new technology or a software that has just been released, they're encouraging people saying this is the next trend. And based off of your research, this might be the next thing. Make it your business to say, how can I, get a free
Mhm.
trial of this? Is there a workshop coming to my area? Or maybe I have to fly out of town or in the next city over to take this training. because you can use that as a leg up. Let's say you just register, but you have a networking event tomorrow. You go and you're targeting these businesses and you say, hey, there's this new technology I'm not sure if you're aware of, but my company is about to get certified on it. Our training is next month, right? You're still ahead of the curve in your competition because those other businesses, if it just came out, probably aren't aware, but you're showing your dedication to the industry and being better and having that cutting edge. And a client would love to work with a company that's always trying to be better and be above the rest of the competition, because ultimately when you're working with a client, they want their job done with excellence and with precision and under budget and on time and all of this stuff, right? But this is an avenue for you to be able to execute that. So that's a way to differentiate yourself.
Perfect. I love it. So, in this video, we covered a lot of,
Yes.
making sure that you know who your target audience is, who's your target market, making sure that you're highlighting with pictures and your core competencies and you're setting that differentiator. In the next video, we're going to talk about that template. What exactly are we looking to put in there? What, logos and things really look good on there and make us stand out. So stay tuned for video 3. Where we're going to talk about what really goes on that capability statement. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next.
This is great. See you guys later.